Hey yo, viewers, George here to talk about stuff. No, to talk about not really one game, but a series of games. Um, for those of you who have the 3DS, obviously a little while ago, probably by the time this video comes out, a lot longer than a little while ago, the Miiverse on the 3DS has gotten an update. So this update, of course, included a nice looking plaza, and of course 4 games that you could buy at $5 each. Or I think during the first week they were having, like the first month of it or something like that, they were having a bundle where you buy all 4 and you get one for free or something like that. Point being is they released 4 new Miiverse StreetPass games, so I'm here to talk about them with my impressions because I finally played them all. So you gotta wait for those Street Pass moments so you can get more into it. But anyways, let's talk about them. So I just have them here so I can refer to them because I need that. Okay, so there's 4 new games. But before we get to that, we're just gonna quickly talk about the Plaza. What they've done new with the Plaza is instead of when you go into the Street Pass, you go straight to your huge little area where you have like all the Miis you've encountered through Street Pass. There's actually a menu you can back out of where you can see all the games that you can play. Like that's that little bit there, and it's nice. And one of the things I have to say is it moves a lot faster. It's weird to say that because before I didn't really notice how slow it was, but looking at it, it moves faster now. So that's really cool. I like that. It makes things quicker. Okay, let's get into the actual games. Actually, before we get into the games, again, there's actually another thing I should mention. Is this thing called like Mii tickets or whatever, and what they do is you collect them and you can buy like the little hats that you have your characters wear. So if you remember in like Find Me, you would find them in the treasure chests at random, or by completing certain objectives. And this time around, what they've done is you collect tickets, and then what I can only assume is on a daily thing, they rotate through different hats that you can grab, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but like there's always 4 different ones to choose from, so I'm assuming there's a rotation, and they add new things into it through the updates probably. So that's what it looks like they're going to do. And that's a nice idea because it's like the reward sort of thing, and you get to choose your reward, or you can just hold on to those tickets and hope that something better comes up, tomorrow or something like that. So that's really cool. So the Mii tickets and how you get those is by playing the games, obviously, and you'll get a Mii ticket for accomplishing something. So that's basically it. Something nice and simple. Alright, let's get into the 4 games. The first one is called Mii Force. With this one it's a side-scrolling shooter, and how it incorporates the Miis that you be in Street Passes is that you use them as power-ups. So you collect them, and then as soon as you grab them, you organize them as to where you want them on your ship. So you can have them as the forefront runners. So you can have 4 main power-ups, and from what I can gather, I think each color is a different power-up, I think. Or they just randomize what power-up each one has, and you just sort of pick and choose. And then any other Miis you collect can make the level of that first power-up better. So that's essentially it. It's a nice idea. I really love first-person shooters, and the game itself is really fun. And how you lose, obviously, is if you get hit, you lose one of your power-ups, and if you lose all your power-ups, it's game over. And of course, it's very nice that it allows you to try again, essentially, so you don't really waste any of your Miis and whatnot. That's nice. I like that. It's a nice little thing, and it's a fun game. If you like side-scrolling shooters, you'll definitely love this. It gives a lot more reason to play with the Street Pass functions, since Find Me was so not really good in a sense. I'm pretty sure I might have complained about it in one instance or another at some point, but it's Find Me wasn't all that interesting to begin with. It was just something you did, and then eventually get bored of it, which I did. You know, I found the Wario's hat, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. This is all I really wanted, was this hat. So, you know, then that entire time, you know, you're just collecting puzzle pieces, which is always fun. I love the puzzles, definitely. So it's nice to have these new games, and I'll get into a bit of problem I'm having with it. It's a nitpick. I like nitpicking. So that's Mii Force. It's fun, and it's definitely enjoyable, and it's a shooter. Next one's a weird one. It's called Flower Town, and for the life of me, I'm still trying to fucking understand this game. Because it's too much, in a sense. Like, compared to out of these four, Flower Town is probably the most complex, and it definitely suffers a little bit from it. So, what you do in Flower Town is you plant flowers, and the people you meet in street passes can help water your flowers or pollinate your flower with theirs so you get new seeds or something like that. It's really fucking confusing to figure out what the hell is going on. You're just going, it's definitely the weakest in the bunch, I can guarantee that. But essentially, you're planting flowers, and the street passes can either help grow your flower or can help pollinate it so you can get seeds from that. So you can get new breeds and whatnot, and when you collect new breeds, something extraordinary happens. It's definitely, like I said, it's definitely the weakest of the four, but, you know, I think the only reason you ever get this is if you got as part of the bundle, because, you know, why not, sort of thing. But it is the weakest one, and it's probably the one that I'll slowly stop playing, if anything. So that's Flower Town. It's an interesting little game. No, it's not. Now, here's a cool one. Warrior's Way. It takes rock, paper, scissors, but it makes it a lot more enjoyable, because basically what you do is, first when you start, it takes the amount of Miis that you have in your plaza, and that becomes your initial army. So you have, like, first when I start, I get like 420 some odd people or something like that, and that became my army. So you essentially can grow your army bigger when you street pass with other people, and you get their plazas added to yours, or they'll come offering a challenge. So it's your huge army that you've gathered versus their plaza. Or you can just, you know, say hi and they'll leave you alone. So it's whether or not you really feel like doing it, so it's not going to force you into anything. Now, what you do with these large armies is you're trying to conquer countries. You're trying to be the Nasanova of the Street Pass world. And how you determine is, when you go to face off with another army, is you divide your army up into rock, paper, scissors, and then you have to try and win the best 2 out of 3 rounds. So, of course, you can either, obviously, you would probably want to focus more into what was best against them, but you can only use that section of that army once during the entire span of the battle. So you want to try and even it out a little bit, so that way the best 2 will defeat it, and you might want to try and protect the other one just in case you have to rely on it. So there's a little bit of strategy planning, because you have to divide, like, your huge army amongst them, and it's a nice little fun game. I definitely really like it. And what makes it even cooler is you can choose 3 different castles to represent your country. So you can either have, like, the Shogun Tower, or, you know, the fantasy castle, medieval style, or the future. And then, of course, your character and your little servant who, like, basically is your guide through the whole thing, will represent which ones you picked. And I like that. That's really cool. It's a nice little touch to the whole thing. So Warrior's Way, a lot of fun. I like the idea. It definitely is a good one. This one I was excited for, and I love it. I like it. It combines a bit of a puzzle element to it. And it also combines the RPG battles from the battle system from Find Me, but it's better. See, everything's better than Find Me when you think about it. It's called Monsters Manor, and essentially, you're trapped inside this mansion. The only way out is to get to the top floor of it. And what you have to do to get to the top floor is you have to collect layouts to each floor, and you have to try and find the stairs to the next one. It's going to be a little confusing to explain, but essentially, each Mii represents the color with their shirt color or whatever, and depending on what they have, they'll give you a piece that you can select of that color, and various things happen, like if you connect like a 2x2 grid or something like that, you can find like a treasure chest or something like that, or you want to try and connect rooms of the same color together. If you open up a new room that's attached to a different color or something like that, you might encounter a battle or something like that. There's a lot of little things in it, but it's very simple when you actually play it. It's a very simplistic little Mii game, and it's actually a lot of fun because it's little puzzle pieces, and you just try and fit them into the layout, and you try to benefit yourself. And the treasure chest can have like new weapons and whatnot that you use to defeat the various ghosts in the mansion, and of course each weapon has an element that's better than against certain types, or like isn't good against other ones, and you level them up through gems and whatnot. It's fun. I like it. It's a good one. I'm happy it's good. What Find Me should have really been is a bit more interactive, which is good. So, those are the 4 games. Obviously, Flower Town is the worst of them. Warrior's Way and Monsters Manor is probably a tie for my favorite ones, only because I prefer the layouts of those for some reason. But Mii Force was fucking amazing too. It's like, wow, this is a StreetPass game? So, here's the problem with it though. If you have all 4 of them, and then you combine that with the puzzle one, and of course if you're still playing Find Me, that's a lot of shit to do now. Like, if you have one person visit your plaza, you're taking that one person through potentially 5 to 6 different things, depending on whether or not you start playing them or if you drop them and whatnot. But that's a lot of stuff to do. So it gets really overwhelming, and sometimes it feels a little monotonous. I mean, like, say if you go to a convention, where this is going to be the biggest fucking problem, I can definitely see it, and you street pass the shit out of everyone there. I mean, you're going to get 10 people after 10 people after 10 people coming, street passing you constantly, and you're trying to just go through every single thing as much as you can, but you won't be able to. So you're going to have to start picking and choosing, and and that's one of the biggest problems, is it will get a little overwhelming at times, especially you start going to, like, school even, for Christ's sakes. You're going to get people, if you have a lot of people who bring their 3DS to school, like I know when I went to college, I would always get street passes all the time, and certain days I get more than other days, of course, because more people were there certain times of days and whatnot. I can guarantee the same might be for high school and elementary school, because more kids probably bring their systems and whatnot and play them at recess. So it will get a little overwhelming. I think that's probably one of the biggest problems about it, is it gets overwhelming. You're going to start picking and choosing, and you don't really get to have fun with all of them. Even Flower Town needs a little bit of loving, but but that's going to be one of the big problems with it. And eventually it's going to, especially if you go to cons, you're not going to go through all 4 fucking things, or 5 of them if you still play Find Me. And it'll probably come just down to you'll probably just do maybe the puzzles, or you'll just do one of the games or something like that. And that's unfortunate that at certain points it's just going to fall to the wayside. I mean, each of these games go for about $5 each, or if you get the bundle, it's $15 for all 4. So you want to know what? They're good. They add new things for you to do, but under the certain happenings, it won't probably fall through as well as you want them to. So, that's what do I call this? The Street Pass update, new games that they have. I'll probably have a better name for it in the title. So with that all said and done, until next time, Street Pass me and keep on gaming.